news in the city of Plymouth this week. The city's top leader in public safety has announced his retirement. Police Chief and Public Safety Director Mike Goldstein will retire after working in law enforcement in Plymouth for more than 30 years. Goldstein became a full-time officer in 1990 when Plymouth had 30,000 fewer people than it does today. He plans to retire at the end of January. Here's a look at a few of his accomplishments. He's advocated for installing cable median barriers on Interstate 494 and Highway 169 when there was an average of 2 fatal accidents a year in Plymouth. Since the barriers were installed, there hasn't been 1 fatal accident. He's also advocated for police mental health initiatives, including the development of a mental health evaluation team and an on-staff social worker. He's also worked with school districts to develop emergency operations plans and help develop legislation for enhanced penalties for students bringing weapons to school. Some local nonprofits are seeing unprecedented need this year, which makes meeting fundraising goals even more important. Here's reporter Pafua Yang with an update on what one Plymouth nonprofit is trying to accomplish.
The 8-week annual Sleepout event is wrapping up this week, and staff members at Interfaith Outreach are confident they'll exceed their goal of $2.6 million.
With this goal being met, we can, for $917 a month, we can provide a family a place to stay living and make sure that they don't get evicted or get put into homelessness. For the whole organization, we serve about 2,000 families a year, and the Sleepout is about 40% of our annual budget.
There's also an anonymous donor that's matching every gift of $100 or more between now and midnight on December 31st. The Sleepout event started 25 years ago by a man named Bob Fisher. The purpose was to create empathy and awareness to those who are homeless. In past years, groups of people have slept in tents, boxes, and cars. But due to COVID-19, more participants opted to sleep at home, either on the couch or floor. This year, there's been more than 2,000 people who participated in the annual event.
Many times when individuals are struggling, they're going to have to choose between buying food or paying rent. And so they'll come here to our food shelf to augment their budget. And so we definitely are seeing individuals making really, really hard choices right now.
In this 25-year history, Sleepout has prevented homelessness more than 34,000 times. Pafua Yang, CCX News.
If you look at art through the ages, you can often learn more about the emotions of the artist. One therapist collected art that shows the different feelings and thoughts that surround COVID-19.
Ordinarily, this place is swarming with kids.
In the days before the snow finally fell this December, Dorothy Hanson thought a lot about how her life has been different in 2020.
I thought about it for several days, and then I thought, the 3 things that I am missing terribly. One is all the neighborhood kids, because you don't even see them out.
Dorothy gave them ice cream during the summer months and calls them her neighborhood grandchildren.
When I see them, we say hi and so forth.
But that's not the only loss. She missed her church family.
There she is.
And then
I also realized that I could not go to the hospital when my daughter had her first baby, and that was on Thanksgiving Day. Here are just random pieces.
Dorothy's loss echoes what many seniors missed out on during COVID-19.
I pictured myself looking out the window at all these lovely things that I can't get to.
She channeled her thoughts into a collage.
It makes it almost more poignant because I can see, it's a visual. But also what I found meaningful in this process is sharing my art with others.
She'd do art projects with them and give them treats and snacks.
Dorothy's artwork is part of a larger collection of art that therapist Susan Devine curated to show what life was like during COVID-19.
My clients have been talking so much about COVID to the point where I just felt like I've got to get this together, to show people that they're not alone.
The artwork shows that the COVID-19 experience is vast and varied. There's isolation and frustration.
This girl is 12 and I feel trapped, controlled, restricted, forced. She drew a picture of her house and she wrote slam the door, like I'm locked in.
Those feelings show up time and time again among people of all ages who have missed out on important events and missed seeing friends and family. But the artwork shows other feelings too.
They came up with all the positive things that have come out of COVID. So bonfires with family and friends. One of them got a puppy.
I go for colorful a lot.
11-year-old Lorian Compton's artwork shows a little of each side.
I think it's good to show both sides because it can show people like that things aren't as bad as they think they are, but they should still be cautious.
She misses going to the movie theater, but Lorian also points out it was a time when her family intentionally brought joy to others.
We painted rocks and put like hearts in front of their driveways for our neighbors.
For a preteen who didn't experience direct loss, COVID-19 was a time that was just different.
I don't think COVID would make me sad. It makes me, I don't know, really.
It's a tough thing for many to verbalize.
Just as the seasons change, COVID-19 has caused a lot of change in my life.
And therapist Susan Devine says that's what creating the art was all about, helping people sort through a different, confusing time.
You feel all these feelings on the inside, right? You feel them, they're stirring, but a lot of times people don't understand what they're feeling. And so this gives it a shape.
Art therapy gets those feelings out in the open so you can discuss something that's physical and tangible.
The emotions that they've experienced are now kind of projected out onto the artworks.
When you see the pictures of so many experiences lumped together in one place, that's when you can see there's no right or wrong way to feel about something that has impacted us all.
They really feel heard and understood.
Whether you are enjoying a more laid-back life at home or feeling incredibly isolated, you can see here that you are not alone.
This is just a small, token. My hope and prayer is that, my clients, the people that have contributed to this, feel heard and will know that they're not alone.